The High-Tech Nomad here, and today I'm going to talk about the newest update to the Gear S3 line of watches. Now, I did one of these yesterday because they pushed out the update yesterday, and I noticed some strange things. And today they pushed out a new version of the Galaxy wearable app that ties into this. So I had to take everything I had yesterday and throw it out because a lot of things I was pointing out as being a problem are not a problem now that they've done this. So in order to get this information out to you guys as quickly as possible, I'm going to do it in this fashion. This is not normally how I do these videos. I usually shoot them from 2 or 3 different angles. But content is the king of quality. So we're going to go with content rather than design today. So in any event, all right, so the update is available in both the United States, Canada. My friend in Berlin says he got it, but he travels, so I'm not quite sure why he got it. But in any event, you can check to see if you had it by going into Settings and going all the way down to About Watch. And if you go to Update Watch Software, now you probably have this on as auto update already. But if not, you can click on Update Now and it will check to see if you're eligible for the update. If you are eligible for the update, it will go through the process. It takes about 15 minutes. As you can see, I've already done the upgrade, so it's no big deal. I'm going to use update, upgrade. I haven't got time to settle on one word or the other. But in any event, you get the idea. Okay, so a bunch of stuff has happened with the watch and with the app. I'm going to actually go through all of it for you. So let's first take a look and see. So as you probably noticed, the Galaxy wearable app has changed. One of the nice, well, I shouldn't say one of the nice things. The nice thing about this is that the app now really controls a lot of things that's going on with the watch, and you'll see what I mean by that in a minute. First of all, let's go to watch faces. We had this before, but they've gone to a dark mode now, and it makes it easier for me to just click on a watch face, and then it will pop that watch face over. So I can see them all here now. Yes, obviously they're all on my watch as well, but sometimes it's easier to see them here and click on it and then have it pop over there. It takes a few seconds because it's got to push that over, but that will show up. We'll be seeing that soon. Get it? Seeing it. I'm sorry. All right. So that's the first thing that you want to notice. The next thing that you want to notice is that in a lot of the submenus, they've added some features. So let's actually talk about that. So notifications, this is all the same. This pushes the notification. I'm going to review some stuff that you probably already know, but that's okay. So this pushes information over to your phone, but now you'll notice that it has things like mute connected phone, mutes notifications on your phone while you're receiving them on your watch. That came in a little bit before, but that's all right. So this hasn't changed that much. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. The apps, this pretty much stayed the same. On applicable apps, you can go in and make changes to the app. So for example, under messaging, we've had this before where I can go in and I can add my quick responses. Okay, first new one that you're going to see, widgets. So these are the widgets that are on the watch itself, but now I can change the widgets themselves and the order on the phone. So I don't have to do this on the watch, and this can be kind of a pain somewhere. So if I have, the first one I have is the music, then I have app shortcuts, then I have a calendar. So now if I want to change this, it's as simple as saying, okay, I'm going to take and move this one up to here. We'll make it up to there. There we go. So we've moved that up to there. So now the first one I'm going to see, actually I have to hit done, and that'll go through and push that over. And so now the first one that I see when I swatch over is SmartThings. Now I'm going to also talk about SmartThings for a second. SmartThings is the smart hub program that Samsung puts out. I use that as the basis of my smart home system. And what's nice now is you now can add your SmartThings right to your watch. This was available before, but it wasn't working. It is working now. So I can have things like my bedside lamp or my hallway light, I can turn those on and off from the watch now. Very, very easy to do, to add those on. Okay, so just wanted to add that in. SmartThings now working. So again, here it shows me all of my other widgets that are available, and I can add any of these widgets by simply hitting the plus sign, and that'll put it up top, and then I can rearrange those. All right, so good stuff here. All right, so let's come back. Sounds and vibrations. There was a change. I'll talk about that. That has to do with the ringtone. Easy now to change a ringtone. That was not something that we had that was very easy before. I had to have like a third-party app to do that, but you can now go in and select whichever ringtone that you want. Speaking of ringtones, as you probably know, I'm pretty much a kind of a geek, a movie fan and a geek, and I'm going to throw different pieces in there just for fun for you guys to comment about. So, for example, my tone music ringtone is the pen communicator from The Man from U.N.C.L.E. That's an easy one if you guys know what The Man from U.N.C.L.E. is. But I'm going to give you another one. This is one of a set of 2 keys. Can anybody tell me what this key is and what it does? So there's 2 of these keys. There's this key and a red one. Can you tell me what these keys are, what movie they're from, and what they do? So I'm going to just put that right there. All right. So let's come back out. And the next one is display. No big changes there. Advanced double gesture. They did add some here. So we have the wake up gesture, which is, you know, when I move it, do I want the watch to come on or off? I can again change that now from here. I don't have to go into the watch and change it. Wake on bezel. So when I turn the bezel, does that wake up the watch? Sensitivity, which is good because a lot of times when I want to turn on the sensitivity, it's a cold night or a rainy night, it takes me a while to figure out how to get to it within the watch. Now I can just pull out my phone, turn it on very, very easily. Do not disturb, and 3 new ones here. The 3 new ones here, first one is theater mode. Now theater mode will turn off notifications, silence the ringer, turn off everything, dim the screen, anything that you would expect that you would want to do if you were going into a movie. And again, I had a paid for app, but they've now added that in, and I think that's really neat. Now, the good night mode or the sleep mode sounds like it does the same thing, and it does, but it also adds a feature where it's really keeping track of your sleep. So for those of you who are logging your sleep, it's much better at detecting when you're asleep and how many times you turned and all that sort of thing. So you actually can turn both of those on if you so wish to. I was a little confused at first until I did some research and found out that this good night mode is the same as the theater mode, but it's really meant for helping to track your sleep. So the next one is screen capture. Why they included this, I have no idea, but it allows you to take a capture of your watch screen and it will save that to your phone for later. And it's kind of a weird one. You have to push and hold the power button while swiping to the right, and it will take a picture of the current screen. Guess that kind of that's kind of a nice feature. I have yet. You guys can leave a comment below and tell me, would you ever use that? And if so, under what circumstances? Okay, because I can't think of any. All right, so then we have adding content to your watch. This is the same as it was before, where you can add tracks of music. You can also sync playlists. As you can see, I'm syncing my public domain music playlist so I can play some music for you guys. And I've also, I'm syncing a folder called Wallet, and those are, you know, like pictures of my son and things like that. So if I want to show somebody real quick, I guess I'm too lazy to pull out the phone, but I can show them a picture on my watch. In any event, they've also changed this. I did some research that changed this. This used to be a real battery drain. It used to like keep checking and going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. So they've redone the algorithm so it doesn't check that often. It knows whether something's changed or not. So that's pretty decent with that. Okay, so let's come back out. Send SOS request. You have to be careful on that, because what that's for is that if you push the home button 3 times, it does a countdown, And then if you do not stop it before that countdown, as you can see, you can send up to 5 seconds. It's going to send out an SOS message to whoever you are. It's going to send out where you're located, and I believe it also opens up the speaker and transmits that piece. So you have to be careful, because obviously if you push, you have that time frame to turn it off, but you just want to be careful. I was traveling this past week. I turned it on while I was traveling. I keep it off now that I am home. Okay, Find My Watch. Pretty much same as before, but a little bit of a change on the screen. You can get the location of your watch, provided you have turned on the GPS on the watch itself. I'll show you where that is in a second. And then set security. I can do things like remotely lock the watch, reset the watch, or set the reactivation lock, because if somebody gets your watch, they can factory reset it and then pair it with their phone. But if you turn on reactivation lock, they will not be able to, they can wipe it, but they won't be able to connect it to a new account until that's been lifted. So you may want to go ahead and set that. Okay, watch connections. These haven't changed, but I want to make sure that you understand what this does, especially if you have a Frontier, as I do. So remote connection is going to allow your watch to talk to your phone even when they're not connected through either Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. So that means when I go out, I was in London this past week, which, by the way, love London. And one of the big things that I loved about London is that they have gone hog wild on contactless pay, meaning Samsung Pay, Tap and Go, whatever you want to call it. They have it everywhere. They have it in the train station. They have it in the restaurants. They have it in the cabs. They have, I mean, anything you can. I went to Camden Market, even buying an ice cream. All of that stuff uses what they call contactless or tap and pay. You and I would call it Samsung Pay. And what that's going to do is I was able to actually go out, leave my phone either in my house or leave it or leave it in my pocket, and I was able to get Ubers, make phone calls, look stuff up, and then pay with everything, which was pretty helpful because we were in Soho, and we were at quite a few clubs, and it was just a lot easier to pay with the tap and pay. All right, so getting back to the remote connection. The remote connection is going to allow you to leave the phone, as long as your phone is home, I'm sorry, not home, as long as your phone is on and home, it will go through the internet, either through Wi-Fi or through cellular data, and it's going to allow you to still get all of your email, your messages, all your good stuff from there. So if you do want to leave your phone home, let's say your phone's not charging. I've done this a bunch of times where I have to go out, gotta go to the store real quick. Phone's not up to 100%, but I'm not gonna be gone that long. I'll plug my phone in, leave it on, just as long as I have my watch on, I'm all set. I can pay for things. If I need to, if I get an email, if I get a phone call, whatever, everything comes through here, all right? So that's what the remote connection is. So you wanna leave that on. The connection notification, this will tell you whether you're connected to the phone remotely or not. They've changed that. I'm not really, it's still here, but they've changed how you can tell, and I'll show you that in a second. And then sync wireless profiles, and what that means is that your Wi-Fi profile, so if you go to XYZ and you put in the password, you know you're on that Wi-Fi, it will send the password over to the watch, so when the watch goes there, it can jump on the Wi-Fi. So that's pretty good, because I do travel a ton. And this restaurant or this nightclub or this, so I add all those in and it shares those with the watch. So good stuff there. All right, so we've got all those. Then we have all of our standard ones that we would expect to see. Galaxy apps, Samsung Health, Pay, and again, now the SmartThings is now applicable. That's now in there and working. So that is good to know. All right, so covered all those. Let's come back over here. This isn't changed any. So let's put this aside and let's take a look at the watch itself and see what are the things that have changed. Well, we talked about the fact that it has those two modes. I'm not going to talk about those right now, but when we come down, you can add those two modes. So that's the theater mode there. I can put that on, toggle that on or off. Battery life seems to be much better. Oh, where was that? Let me just come back here for 1 second because I did want to show you one other thing in this, which is under settings. Where the heck was it? You now have, they're trying to make this more like your phone. So you have the ability to make some changes. Okay, so it's in, I remember where it is now. It's in info. So for example, when I click on battery, it's going to give you a menu very similar to the menu you would expect to see for your phone. It's going to give me the ability to turn on and off the power saving mode, and it's going to tell me what apps are sucking up the battery so that I can make some changes if I so need to. There is also a optimized battery usage where again it will take and turn off certain apps where it thinks that that's sucking down the battery. So between that and the battery itself, I know some people have had a lot of different issues. When I was in England, I used the watch all day long. I was using it for tap and pay. I found around 4 o'clock when I was taking, I would take a nap just after tea, and I would take a nap so I could go out to the clubs because the clubs are open until 4. Not all of them, but most of them. 4 in the morning. So I would come home and I would charge it up at 4 when I took a nap, and that would last me the rest of the night. I'll leave some comments below to tell you if I'm getting much better battery life. I did have some problems at one point. I had a warranty, I sent it in, they sent me another one, and I haven't had any problems since then. I do think, in all honesty, that I did track down one of the battery issues to a third-party charger that I had purchased because I had the stand that it came, I had the charger that it came with, and then I bought another one that was supposed to be an OEM one. Well, the first one I bought was like a third-party one, and then the other one was supposed to be an OEM one, but I found it wasn't OEM. And just keep an eye on that, because I think that's what actually started to cause the battery to have a problem. So just keep that in mind. If you're a person that's been having a lot of battery problems and you have a third-party charger, it is the charger that's killing the watch. All right, so the first thing I noticed is that let's go to the tracks on here. This is a heck of a lot louder than it was before. I don't care what anybody says. I'm telling you, this is a lot louder than it was before. Let's go to the playlist. And as you can see, I have my public domain playlist. And I'll go ahead and I'll turn that up. And again, I used to always turn, but you can turn or you can tap the plus and minus. That's a lot louder than it was before. That's now usable if you're doing a workout or you're going for a run. That is now loud enough to hear what's going on. Okay, I'm going backwards here. Okay. Now the other thing is that you push and hold the next track, it will scan through it. Okay. The other thing I noticed is that your side menu, when you click on the 3 dots for the menu, you have the ability to shuffle, you have the ability to turn the repeat so you can have it keep playing that same song or whatever it is over and over. You can add it to the playlist. You can tell it to send it to your whatever Bluetooth headset that you have connected up to this. So if you have a Bluetooth headset and you're doing a run, it's very easy now, because sometimes it gets confused whether it should play on the watch or so you can actually now do that. And then the last one that I thought was really nice that they added is now set as ringtone. So again, we now have 2 easy ways to set up whatever ringtone we want. So that was very, very nice. Okay. So now let's go to, now this icon switches between whether I'm listening to the tracks on the watch or I want to activate the phone. So this is the watch. We can sweep up and you can see I can pick my albums and artists, and I can do playlists now and all kinds of good stuff. Okay, so we'll click on that. Now we're going to go with the phone. Now, one of the things that used to happen a lot is it would play whatever the last thing was that you played on your phone. And that can be a problem because sometimes I would be looking at a YouTube video and now when I hit play, it would just try to play that YouTube video. But now when you click on the menu button, you see where it says music player, you can actually click on that and you can select which program you actually want it to use, including the video player. So I can say, play this video. Obviously I won't see the video, but what I will be able to do is hear the audio from that video. Okay, Samsung Music, Google Play. So again, I could just go ahead, click on Google Play. It's going to go to my Google Play and going to start to play whatever that is. And again, we can set that as a ring. I'm sorry, we can't set that as a ringtone because it's on the phone itself. But we can set the volume and we can move back and forth. And if there are more, as you can see, there's other songs in that playlist in my Google Play, I can actually move in between them. So nice new feature to have, makes it a lot easier to see. The other thing is when you do have music, I don't want to, let's not get a copyright strike here. So let's just go ahead and put that down. Can I put that down and then still play it? No, I won't put that down. Okay, now we'll come back out. Okay. On longer tracks, it will actually show you, I think I have to go in the app itself, okay? On longer tracks, it'll actually show you an indicator so that you know how far you are in the song, which I thought was very nice. And again, same deal, if I hold this down, it will speed through the track. So, nice feature there. All right, let's take a look and see. We talked about the SmartThings, we talked about the music. This icon, gonna talk about that in an upcoming video. If you recognize that icon, then you know what that's gonna do. I'll give you a little preview. Basically, I'm going to show you an app that's going to allow you to control your Amazon Echo from your watch. So if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, hit the subscribe button, hit the alert. That should come out in a couple of days, but there is a way now to control your whole Amazon Echo ecosystem from your watch, even when you're out. So I actually, while I was in London, I was able to turn off the sprinklers, turn on these lights, turn off those lights, etc., etc. All right, let's go into messages here. Let me cover this up so I don't display anybody's message here. Okay, I'll come through here. All right, so the way that messages has changed is that messages now has you can go back through as far back as you need to. Let me go back one here. I'll pick somebody else here. There we go. Okay, so you now can go back as far as you need to. So this is already on there. So this meaning that these were past messages. They're all there. Next thing that you'll notice is that I now can see pictures as well as animated GIFs. So if somebody sends me a meme or something like that, I can actually see that play on my watch face now. Put that out here. So they have a new feature called Send Location. And what Send Location will do is, again, as long as you have location turned on your watch, it is going to take and send your exact location to someone else, which through the text message. All right, so I'm now in the compose part for the messaging, and it gives you the ability to send the message from the phone or from the watch. Now, what that means is that if I do this, it's going to send it to my phone, and then my phone's going to send it out, so it will have the same number that people expect to see. But sometimes, what if if my phone is off, then I can't send any messages because it's got no way to send it. But I do because with the Frontier, it's got its own SIM. So the only thing that's keeping it from doing it is the fact that I didn't send it. So when I do that, now it's not going to bother to talk to my phone. It's just going to send it right from here, and it's going to use the number from the watch. Now in my case, the phone number for the watch and the phone number for the phone are two different numbers. People that I talk to a lot have both of those numbers in my contact, So either one, they know it's from me, but that's just something to be careful of. All right, let's go into recipient. Recipient, again, you've seen this before. I can either dial in the number. I wish they would just give me a regular one to go, meaning I don't want to have to push and hold. So if I want 6-1, I got to hold this, then I get that, and then I have to hold that, and then I get that, and then I have to hold this. I would have preferred to do it, just be able to just dial numbers. But in any event, so I can do that. I can hit the search. It will try and find someone in my phone book. If I click that down arrow, let's just see. I want it to display anybody's name. It will actually, in this particular case, it tells me I have 152 people because I'm in the 617 area code. It says I have 152 people that start off 6175, and then I can turn the bezel and I can look for them that way. So again, pretty neat with that. Let me go back to a message for a second, because one of the other things I noticed, which is really, really nice about this now, is that, so you can see the message, but now when you scroll all the way down, you have your ability to do a speech to text, which we've had before, but it's right here now. I can send an emoji, or I can do a message by the screen. But if I go down a little further, I have all my quick responses right here as well. Makes it a lot easier. I read somebody's text, I can come down right here, click on I'm on my way, thanks, I'll call you later, what have you. It also has the doodle mode, which means if you draw a little picture, it will actually draw that, it will send that as an animated GIF to the other person. So that is pretty cool with that. So a lot of changes. So a lot of changes to the messaging app. Everything else pretty much is the same. They did add, I'm not a big health person, unfortunately. I'm getting better. They did change on the S Health. They have added a bunch of different workouts, meaning things that we'll recognize. So for example, I was doing some bike riding in the spring, and it would automatically know that I was bike riding, and it would add that to my S Health. It would say, oh, okay, you were bike riding for 15 minutes or whatever the heck you happen to be. So it has more things that it automatically can tell what you're doing based upon how the watch is moving with the accelerometer and all that stuff. So we'll say, oh, okay, he just did pull-ups, or okay. So you can do that. You can pick them if you want, but it is much better at automatically deciding what those features are. This does bring this up to Tizen 4.0, which is the newest version of the operating system for the watch. So you basically have the exact same watch as the new Galaxy watch that's out there. So again, I really like my S3. The only difference appears to be that on the new Galaxy watch, it has Bixby. Now, you're all rolling your eyes already, as am I. Bixby isn't all that fantastic to begin with. It's, in my opinion, it's certainly not worth getting rid of this watch to get a new watch that has Bixby. And I did some research and I saw some videos out there, and basically the Bixby that is been put on the watch is basically S voice, and they changed the icon to say Bixby. That was it. All right, so again, sorry about the production on this one, but I wanted to get this information to you guys as quickly as possible. Wanted to get this information to you guys as quickly as possible. We have a new Patreon site, which has oodles and oodles of projects, because there's a lot of stuff that I do that they don't make good YouTube videos, but they make really great projects. I'll give you an example. This is a miniature of the next project that's going on Patreon. And again, this is another little Easter egg. Does anybody know what computer this is and why this computer, what significance this computer has and what movie it's in? And I'll make it even easier for you. There's about a gajillion movies that you've seen this computer in. We have another video coming out in terms of the YubiKey and using the YubiKey to lock down your security system. I'm really happy with that. We're getting some amazing numbers off of that, and it seems to you guys are really resonating with that, so I really appreciate that. So if you are waiting for one of those, another one of those is coming out very soon. You got all this good stuff. If anything new comes up, I'll add it to the comments below. Tell me what feature you most like in this newest update. Okay? Be interested to hear what you guys have to say.
Until the next time, this is the High Tech Nomad signing out.